Hi, I'm Kesten Rono, and today is day 151 of A Course in Miracles. We've just completed a review. I will accept the atonement for myself. Only salvation can be said to cure. That is the mind, that is the creator doing the learning. The body is the teaching device, the learning device. My mind holds only what I think with God is our declaration of preparation, our readiness statement for this next portion of the book. Seeing miracles and feeling whatever this idea is. Perceiving forgiveness as it is. So we say thank you. And we continue. Picking up where we left off with the review of principles. Principle 11. Prayer is the medium of miracles. It is a means of communication of the created with the Creator. Through prayer, love is received, and through miracles, love is expressed. Okay. To give and to receive are one, we are reminded. So receiving love is giving love. If we are offering prayer with the Creator and saying thank you, we are sharing our love. To receive love back from the Creator is to live in love. And so we reflect this love infinitely between the created and the Creator. Through prayer, love is received. Thank you. I'm sure God receives love too, with His recognition and our appreciation for exactly what He is and what we are, and our acceptance of the idea that we are a mind in God's love. Our thoughts are His and His thoughts are ours, which is what makes prayer effortless. Our mind, some idea constant, more in alignment with whatever the unconditional is, whatever love is. The body, something finite, something we appreciate, and something from which we are able to learn. It is the mind that is learning, the mind that is creating, the mind that is praying, the mind that is noticing. Through prayer, love is received, and through miracles, love is expressed. That's right. The source of miracles being love and being beyond evaluation. They're natural, flowing at all times, best served without conscious intervention. But we need not actually do anything. That the miracle is that easy, and we can move from dis-ease into ease. So we pray and say thank you. Thank you for making it so effortless. I've been working so hard, attempting to define everything and solve everything. But when I peel back from my unhurriedness, I find my intuition gently speaking. It's not audible most of the time, but it does effortlessly guide me if I just allow myself to be where I am. So thank you for this present moment. May I continue to notice. Prayer is the medium of miracles. It's how we use them. So pray. It is a means of communication of the created with the Creator. It is how we send a message. The beautiful part is, I believe it doesn't even need words. It just needs settling with gratitude and joy for the opportunity to notice the pulsing and dissolving of experiences. The Vipassana. The rising and falling of anything that there is to be noticed. Of course, the rising of one thing has been the falling of another, so the appreciation that this has been ongoing and remains ongoing. And thus we are. Prayer is the medium of miracles. It is a means of communication of the created with the Creator. Through prayer, love is received, and through miracles, love is expressed. May it be so. Love in ever-flowing abundance, simply by noticing. Lesson 151. All things are echoes of the voice of God, capital V here. All things are echoes of the voice of God. Please repeat after me. All things are echoes of the voice of God. No one can judge on partial evidence. Already, this is exactly what we are. A moment in time. Partial evidence. No one can judge on partial evidence. That is not judgment. It is merely an opinion based on ignorance and doubt. Its seeming certainty is but a cloak for the uncertainty it would conceal. Its seeming certainty is but a cloak for the uncertainty it would conceal. Meaning, we imagine we know best, and we are so wrong. That we do not have all knowledge. So how could we make a final judgment? At best, it's a blind guess and hope that it was right for whatever the future may hold. It needs irrational defense because it is irrational, and its defense seems strong, convincing, and without a doubt because of all the doubting underneath. Okay. Yes. This thin veil of assuredness, just the hope that we can be sure, even though the entire foundation itself is doubt. That we are irrationally afraid, and therefore cast a judgment, an attack, or a defense. You do not seem to doubt the world you see. You do not really question what is shown you through the body's eyes, nor do you ask why you believe it, even though you learned a long while since your senses do deceive. Nor do you ask why you believe it, that is, what we see with our body's eyes, even though you learned a long while since your senses do deceive. That you believe them to the last detail which they report is even stranger, when you pause to recollect how frequently they have been faulty, witnessed indeed. Why would you trust them so implicitly? Why? But because of underlying doubt, which you would hide with show of certainty. Surely this is the case for all of us, right? That we believed something was one way and we found a piece of evidence or truth that showed that we were entirely wrong. Are you able to laugh at this idea? And will you let the obvious truth come forward that says, okay, I keep doing this thing where I think I know best. And I mean well, but I also mean to not have my head welded shut, to be open to the truth, not whatever story I've emotionally tied myself into. So may I laugh with joy when I find the truth, rather than continue to defend myself or ignorantly, defiantly, be so sure, even though I see myself in a sea of doubt. May I let my fears go. How can you judge? Your judgment rests upon the witness that your senses offer you. Yet witness never falser was than this. But how else do you judge the world you see? You place pathetic faith in what your eyes and ears report. You think your fingers touch reality and close upon the earth. This is awareness that you understand and think more real than what is witnessed to by the eternal voice of God himself. Okay. We are putting ourselves squarely in the physical, cramming the infinite mind inside the finite body, clinging to whatever these five senses are able to notice and say, this must be what is real. Even though we're not the body. We're perceiving something, even though we notice these impulses from the body. This awareness that you understand and think more real than what is witnessed to by the eternal voice of God himself. Can this be judgment? You have often been urged to refrain from judging, not because it is a right to be withheld from you. You cannot judge. You merely can believe the ego's judgments, all of which are false. It guides your senses carefully, to prove how weak you are, how helpless and afraid, how apprehensive of just punishment, how black with sin, how wretched in your guilt. You have often been urged to refrain from judging, not because it is a right to be withheld from you, because you cannot judge, that we are aligning ourselves with the ego, which, in order to survive, necessitates that we see ourselves as less than it, therefore living in sin rather than in love and sinlessness, in holiness. This thing it speaks of, and would yet defend, it tells you is yourself, and you believe that this is so with stubborn certainty. Yet underneath remains the hidden doubt that what it shows you as reality with such conviction it does not believe. It is itself alone that it condemns. It is within itself it sees the guilt. It is its own despair it sees in you. I appreciate these statements. I believe it is fear that is afraid. And because we are love, it is love that we are. And what we choose to be feeling. And when we align our love with fear, yes, we give life to fear. And fear may only express fear. But this ego is relying on us, giving it a host so it may exist. And the entire time it is screaming out in fear for its life. And we fall victim into some realm that has victimhood, believing that we are sinful. May we see ourselves in love and gently love the ego as the unconditional love would, ever patient, simply waiting for love to be noticed. Hear not its voice. The witness it sends to prove to you its evil is your own. The witness it sends to prove to you its evil is your own are false. The witness it sends to prove to you its evil is your own are false, the witnesses, and speak with certainty of what they do not know. Your faith in them is blind, because you would not share their doubts. Their Lord cannot completely vanquish. You believe to doubt his vassals is to doubt yourself. Your faith in them, these witnesses, speaking with certainty about what they do not know, our faith is blind, because you would not share the doubts their Lord cannot completely vanquish. That is, there is no answer in allegiance here. That doubt is part of the requirement of giving homage to this Lord, this ego, this idea, this sickness, this illness, this dis-ease, this darkness, this fear, this upset, our need to attack, our justice, believing that we or anyone around us can be viewed as a victim, which is a reflection of our own world, rather than seeing that we are here to save ourselves through our own minds, that only salvation can be said to cure, that we will accept the atonement for ourselves. Yet you must learn to doubt their evidence will clear the way to recognize yourself. You must learn to doubt their evidence will clear the way to recognize yourself, and let the voice of God alone be the judge, capital J, be the judge of what is worthy of your own belief. He will not tell you that your brother should be judged by what your eyes behold in him, nor what his body's mouth says to your ears, nor what your fingers touch reports of him. He passes by such idle witnesses, which merely bear false witness to God's Son. He recognizes only what God loves, and in the holy light of what he sees, do all the ego's dreams of what you are vanish before the splendor he beholds. That is to say, God in love is not concerned with all of the cycles of ideas that can be held in the physical alone, and that we should be hurt by these ideas or these impulses. God alone in love offers an idea that you are beyond this finite idea, sitting already in the eternal realm of knowledge, waiting to notice, and that we are living in hell if we will not make the decision of seeing heaven for ourselves. Let's appreciate what the body teaches us, how it stores its pain, how it allows us to move through time and space. Let this be an example of our curiosity to literally move through time and space. We continue to make inventions for efficiency in the physical space, and our mind is showing us regularly that the best invention with the most ease is already available. May we simply notice it. Let him, capital H, be the judge, capital J. Let him be the judge of what you are. For he has certainty in which there is no doubt, because it rests on certainty, capital C, because it rests on certainty so great that doubt is meaningless before its face. Let him be judge of what you are, for he has certainty in which there is no doubt, because it rests on certainty so great that doubt is meaningless before its face. From the physical, this idea feels silly. You might even read this as a fiction book. Okay, that'd be nice, but it's not real. But there goes every permission you have to notice it as real. That when you pray to an idea in your doubt, why not pray to the idea of the Most High at minimum? That I look for reflections of the Most High. What would that purview look like? What would it return me? What would something based in love offer me? Of course you want this. If you didn't want this, whatever struggle you're having you would call peace. But if it is a struggle, it is not peace. Christ cannot doubt himself. The voiced for God can only honor him, rejoicing in his perfect, everlasting sinlessness. Whom he has judged can only laugh at guilt, unwilling now to play with toys of sin, unheeding of the body's witnesses before the rapture of Christ's holy face. It's a game of tag. The ego keeps tagging you and you keep running. Stop running. Be still and present. Be curious what you notice and accept that it is different than any way you have been perceiving thus far. And now you are sitting with God. Just laugh at the game you've been playing. And thus he judges you. Accept his word for what you are, for he bears witness to your beautiful creation and the mind whose thought created your reality. What can the body mean to him who knows the glory of the Father and the Son? What whispers of the ego can he hear? What could convince him that your sins are real? Let him be the judge, as well of everything that seems to happen to you in this world. His lessons will enable you to bridge the gap between illusions and the truth. If you are allowing your sole judge to be whatever idea could be the absolute Most High, then of course you would have to say, thank you for being able to witness me. Thank you for offering me the judgment of love and casting aside my silly illusions, letting me be a messenger in your name, which is joyous. Thank you for having my back. I can't see what you see. Thank you for providing me so much ease. May I move with excitement on the next step that I take, for excitement's sake, as I am in alignment with you. If you set all this aside, how do you anchor your mind in the infinite of whatever you are and you're noticing? Where do you imagine your Lord, so to speak, sits? If you are anything at all, and if you do not have all those answers, therefore you are struggling with something. Where do you look for answers in your mind? We can continue to play in the physical, but then you're in a loop in the physical. And you know for sure that this physical body dies out. You see it around you every day. You see it in the seasons alone, with the leaves falling. Or in the spring, with new birds coming. If the sky is not full of birds, then there were old birds going. And we too pass. So your infinite mind will search for infinite solutions, none of which will give you an answer. The only answer that can be answered in the infinite is to ask that which can see across the infinite. It might sound like a silly idea, but you will have to place your anchor somewhere, or you will be lost at sea. He will remove all faith that you have placed in pain, disaster, suffering, and loss. He gives you vision, which can look beyond these grim appearances and can behold the gentle face of Christ in all of them. You will no longer doubt that only good can come to you who are beloved of God, for he will judge all happenings and teach the single lesson that they all contain. One problem, one solution. He will select the elements in them which represent the truth and disregard those aspects which reflect but idle dreams. And he will reinterpret all you see, and all occurrences, each circumstance, and every happening that seems to touch on you in any way from his one frame of reference, holy, unified, and sure. Imagine having a true, unbiased, totally informed judge. A simple wave of feeling is all that need to be offered to know the truth. And you will see the love beyond the hate, the constancy in change, the pure in sin, and only heaven's blessing on the world. You will see the love beyond the hate, the constancy in change. Such is your resurrection, for your life is not a part of anything you see. It stands beyond the body and the world, past every witness for unholiness, within the holy, holy as itself. It stands beyond the body. This is life, not part of anything we see. It stands beyond the body and the world, past every witness for unholiness, within the holy, holy as itself. In everyone and everything, his voice would speak to you of nothing but yourself and your Creator, who is one with him. So will you see the holy face of Christ in everything, and hear in everything no sound except the echo of God's voice. We practice wordlessly today, except at the beginning of the time we spend with God. Wordlessly. This is a lot of words I'm providing you for you to reflect wordlessly. Thank you for your patience. We introduce these times, but with a single, slow repeating of the thought with which the day begins. Let's repeat that now. All things are echoes of the voice for God. That the voice of God is echoing, that we need not even speak to hear it. Please repeat after me. All things are echoes of the voice of God. We introduce these times, but with a single, slow repeating of the thought with which the day begins. All things are echoes of the voice of God. And then we watch our thoughts, appealing silently to him who sees the elements of truth in them. Let him evaluate each thought that comes to mind, remove the elements of dreams, and give them back again as clean ideas that do not contradict the will of God. So let him evaluate each thought that comes to mind, remove the elements of dreams, and give them back again as clean ideas that do not contradict the will of God. Simply let your thoughts come forward and reflect against the light of truth and settle. Give him your thoughts, and he will give them back as miracles which joyously proclaim the holiness. Okay, let's start over. Give him your thoughts, and he will give them back as miracles which joyously proclaim the wholeness and the happiness God wills his Son, as proof of his eternal love. And as each thought is thus transformed, it takes on healing power from the mind, which saw the truth in it and failed to be deceived by what was falsely added. All the threads of fantasy are gone, and what remains is unified into a perfect thought that offers its perfection everywhere. I know I stumbled and repeated this, but I believe it's worth repeating. Give him your thoughts, and he will give them back as miracles which joyously proclaim the wholeness and the happiness God wills his Son, as proof of his eternal love. And as each thought is thus transformed, it takes on healing power from the mind, which saw the truth in it, and failed to be deceived by what was falsely added. All the threads of fantasy are gone, and what remains is unified into a perfect thought that offers its perfection everywhere. Spend 15 minutes thus when you awake, and gladly give another 15 more before you go to sleep. Your ministry begins as all your thoughts are purified. So are you taught to teach the Son of God the holy lesson of his sanctity. No one can fail to listen. When you hear the voice of God, give honor to God's Son, and everyone will share the thoughts with you which he has retranslated in your mind. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. No one can fail to listen. When you hear the voice of God, give honor to God's Son, and everyone will share the thoughts with you which he has retranslated in your mind. Let's accept this as true, that if you were speaking the truth, and we crave the truth because the truth offers us knowledge which makes us feel secure if we are in a position where we believe anything makes us anything. And as we become more secure, maybe we reflect and we realize that our security has come from letting our illnesses go, our confusion go, and accept that we are learning. We get curious about where we are learning, how we are creating, and we crave more truth, the truth. Thus, everyone is curious about the highest truth. Perhaps how it is delivered, may be best served in the format of the receiver. Nonetheless, it is the intention and the essence of love itself, beyond evaluation, and the truth in this idea and its constancy in a world of change and finiteness, in a world of dis-ease. It is this idea of peace and safety and ease that we offer, however it need be delivered. That it is this idea that each of us is waking up to and accepting in more fullness and wholeness. And so we grow. Such is your Eastertide. And so you lay the gift of snow-white lilies on the world, replacing witnesses to sin and death. Through your transfiguration is the world redeemed and joyfully released from guilt. Now do we lift our resurrected minds in gladness and in gratitude to him who has restored our sanity to us. And we will hourly remember him who is salvation and deliverance. As we give thanks, the world unites with us and happily accepts our holy thoughts, which heaven has corrected and made pure. Now our ministry has begun at last, to carry round the world the joyous news that truth has no illusions, and the peace of God through us belongs to everyone. As we give thanks, the world unites with us and happily accepts our holy thoughts, which heaven has corrected and made pure. I am hearing that when I heal, I do not heal alone. Now our ministry has begun at last, to carry round the world the joyous news that truth has no illusions, and the peace of God through us belongs to everyone. That's right. We want only what is ours in truth. And this idea may be compounded for us and for others. The word that we're spreading is simply that you may notice yourself, within yourself, that your mind is here to create, to notice love, and to share this idea. This is it. This is all of it. We are undoing however we have been and accepting this idea, accepting the truth as a foundational layer upon which we learn, and therefore accepting the decisions that we make are in alignment with this. That's it. I mean, as best as I see it, but I won't pass judgment here. May we notice love. May we wake up. May we go to sleep. May we remind ourselves each hour. May we sit with the idea that all things are echoes of the voice of God. Thus, your ministry has begun. To carry around the world the joyous news that the truth has no illusions, and the peace of God through us belongs to everyone. May it be so. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your reflections. Thank you for your consideration that everything here is just an echo of God's love, of His voice and His will. And you hearing this now faced with this idea and this decision, are forever at a crossroads of accepting the truth or a bodily story that guarantees you will be destroyed, where death can be your only savior. May you choose life and love. Believe in your healing. Set aside your stories of attack and judgment. It is peace that you want after all, and freedom. And let it be known that you already have it. I am Kesten Rono, and I spread love joyously. See you tomorrow.